Call this meeting to order. At this time, we'll rise for the Pledge of Allegiance in a moment of silence. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We're still going to start with point of pride, though. Yeah. This time we'll start with points of pride. Anthony Johnson.
Thank you, sir. This evening, I know on the agenda it stated we had 2 points of pride due to a scheduling conflict. We're going to have the math competition students next month. So if I could have the New Providence Middle School counseling team, along with any administrator representatives that are here tonight, to please come forward. As they come up, I'm going to describe this honor that they have received. New Providence Middle School has been awarded the prestigious Recognized ASCA Model Program, called RAMP, designation by the American School Counselor Association. The RAMP designation recognizes schools committed to delivering a comprehensive school counseling program that positively impacts student achievement, attendance, and behavior. Schools earning this recognition are a part of a select group nationwide that meet the highest standards in the profession, and only 5 other schools in the state of Tennessee have received this designation. New Providence Middle's success is the direct result of the dedication and expertise of the school counseling team, Melissa Preston, Margaret Johnson, and Tina Duncan. Through their leadership and countless hours of work, New Providence has created a program that supports students' academic growth, college and career readiness, and life skills. The RAMP designation is valid for 5 years, during which New Providence Middle School will continue its mission to providing every student with the support and resources they need to thrive. Congratulations. First, congratulations. Second, I'm going to hand these certificates out, and if y'all will give me 1 second, I left my camera over on my desk, so I'll be right back. All right, now we get to smile big. Thank you all, and congratulations. All right. And next, we have a special recognition that wasn't on the agenda, but we're so proud to honor Mr. Nelson. If you could please come forward, Mr. Nelson. He's no stranger to being up here, but we haven't seen him in about a month. Tonight, we would like to pay special recognition to school board member Herbert Nelson, who served the students and families of District 3 from 2019 until August 2025. He spent time as the board chair and earned the Tennessee School Board Association Level 4 Boardsmanship Award. He was also a member of the 2022 board that earned the Tennessee School Board of the Year. Mr. Nelson was always seeking out professional development opportunities and continuously improving his skills to be a strong advocate for teachers, families, and students, with a particular soft spot for children with special needs. He spoke softly and thoughtfully, but everyone always listened to his insightful comments. Please join me in thanking Mr. Herbert Nelson for his service to the Clarksville-Montgomery County School System. And now, if I could have the rest of the board members and Dr. Luna Vetter to please come forward. We have a special gift that we want to present to you. Just in case you forget what you look like or what your colleagues look like, we have a nice framed photo of the school board and a special certificate. So if y'all can stand up here, we're going to get some photos of you all. All right. Go and scoot back just a little bit. Jessica's not here tonight, so I don't have my super special photographer. All right, scoot in just a little bit. There we go. Perfect. All right, smiles. Thank you again, Mr. Nelson. Thank you.
All right. Conversation that we're doing. Electrical, right? Okay. Call Mary Richards or call. Okay, at this time we have our public conversation. This time we'll call it Mary Richards. Remember, during public comments, please turn your microphone on by pressing the right silver button. The timer will display on the microphone showing your allotted time, and the microphone will light to show it's active. The microphone will flash during the last minute of the allotted time. After 5 minutes, your microphone will shut off automatically. Thank you.
All right. My name is Mary Richards. I am the third vice chair for political affairs for the Montgomery County Democratic Party, and I'm here to present a resolution honoring Mr. Herb Nelson. Whereas Mr. Herb Nelson faithfully served as the elected representative of District 3 on the Clarksville-Montgomery County school system, and exemplified the highest standards of leadership and public service. Under his leadership, the CMCSS board was named Tennessee School Board of the Year in 2022, and during that time, he was a recipient of the Tennessee School Board Association Level 4 Boardsmanship Award, achieved the distinction as a TSBA Board of Distinction during his service. He was a strong advocate and still is for public education, special education, and the professional needs of educators, championing the interests of all children across the district. And his colleagues and community regard him as a dedicated CMCSS team member and true public servant whose passion for service and education was evident throughout his term. And due to his character, integrity, and commitment, he has left an lasting impact on the students, families, educators, and staff of CMCSS. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Montgomery County Democratic Party hereby honors and recognizes Mr. Herbert Nelson for his extraordinary service, leadership, and unwavering dedication to public education as a member of the CMCSS School Board from 2019 to 2025, and be it further resolved that a copy of this resolution be presented to Mr. Nelson and be preserved in the records of the Montgomery County Democratic Party as a permanent testament to his legacy of service. I'll hold this one, you hold those two. Thank you very much.
All right, this time, Alicia Sudreth. Yes, ma'am. Correct.
Dear school board members, I've proudly served as a public school teacher for 25 years, 20 of those right here for CMCSS. I've taught every grade from kindergarten to 8th across zones 2, 3, and 6. I love my job. I'm here tonight not as a critic, but as a passionate educator who deeply believes in public education. As educators, we are committed to supporting students with diverse needs, including those with significant behavioral challenges. I value the work of our behavior department, who ensures these students receive appropriate services. However, I have observed a troubling imbalance. The focus on students with extreme behavioral needs sometimes overshadows the safety, stability, and the rights of the larger group of students. Here are some concerns I believe must be addressed. First is safety and notification. In our schools across the district, classrooms, often elementary grades, are evacuated due to violent or destructive outbursts, causing stress, learning loss, harm, and families often left uninformed. In middle and high schools, extreme behaviors include threats and harm to staff. Behavior plans and advocacy shield these students from consequences that everyone else gets, allowing them to return and repeat the cycle, putting others at risk. Efforts to ensure one student's education should not come at the expense of everyone else. I commend our district for all it's done to support our students, adding specialists, programs, aides, counselors, and more over the past few years. However, behaviors continue to rise. Advocates keep defending repeat violent offenders, and other students are suffering learning loss. While these students deserve support, we must also advocate for those affected by disruptions. When does federal law protect their rights to a fair, safe learning environment? If advocates fight for one child, we should do the same for all. The current imbalance suggests the needs of the few outweigh the safety and education of the many. What about my students with learning disabilities, those with IEPs and 504 plans? Imagine how much disruption like this impacts a child who already faces challenges in learning. Who is going to be left accountable when or if something catastrophic happens? When a child that we know is dangerous actually follows through with what they say they're going to do. These repeated incidents show a larger nationwide problem. We've forgotten what's fair for everyone. I'm bringing these concerns to the school board to advocate for change that prioritize both individual support and overall safety. I want to end with some suggestions. I urge the district to create a policy requiring parent notification for classroom evacuations, violent incidents, and credible threats. You don't need to share names and details, but if parents aren't informed about what's happening, they can't effectively advocate for their child. I recommend reviewing discipline procedures for students with behavior plans to ensure accountability and safety for all students while maintaining legal compliance and compassion. The goal should be equity, not exemption, when it comes to behavior that endangers others. I recommend that manifestation and behavior plan meetings include someone advocating for the other student, with part of the meeting focused on how are these decisions going to impact the safety and the learning of all the other students. Our district, you've worked hard to create alternative learning settings, but placements shouldn't take an entire school year. When a child threatens others' safety and learning, they should be moved immediately, protecting all students and providing needed support. I look around the room tonight and I see fantastic teachers. Teachers who love their students, love their job, and love working for CMCSS. School board, we need your help. Keep our students safe and value their learning. This is a difficult issue. It can't be ignored. I seek your guidance in raising awareness and creating policies that protect every child. I'm not referring to every child with a behavior plan. Many of them are successful with supports given, but it's that 1% whose actions threaten the safety and the learning of everyone else. Least restrictive environment was never meant to mean always the general education room no matter what. It was meant to mean the least restrictive environment in which the child can actually make progress and not deprive others of their learning. Let's all put Tennessee families first and teachers first. Thank you for your time, attention, and commitment to the well-being of our students.
Aura Dorsey.
Good evening, school board members. I first want to express my deep gratitude to board member Carol Berry, who truly embodies what public service means. She cares about all students, no matter the race, nationality, gender, or background. When we call, she responds. She shows us what's possible with leaders, when leaders put children first. I'm here tonight to speak in support of the resolution opposing HB 0793. That is finally on tonight's agenda. This bill would authorize public schools to refuse enrollment to students who are unlawfully present in the United States. Let's be clear what's at stake here. In 1982, the Supreme Court ruled in Plyer versus Doe that all children, regardless of immigration status, have a constitutional right to public education. But this is about more than legal precedent. This is about children sitting in our classrooms right now, children who are learning, growing, and contributing to the community. HB 0793 would create fear in our schools. It would force teachers to become immigration enforcers instead of educators. It would tear apart the trust between families and schools that makes learning possible. The fact that the resolution is only now on the agenda after this board speaks weeks deliberating middle school wrestling funding speaks volumes about priorities. Athletes matter. I understand that. But it should never take precedence over direct threat to the foundation of public education itself. The principle that every child deserves access to learning. Our priorities are out of balance. We should be focused on ensuring quality education for all students, improving school meals, expanding literacy programs, and addressing the real challenges our children face every day. I could go on and on like Erykah Badu because the needs are endless and urgent. I am here for all children, not some children, not children who look a certain way or have certain documents, all children. I strongly urge this board to pass a resolution opposing HB 0793, a resolution for education for all. Send a clear message that Clarksville-Montgomery County School Board stands for every child in our community. Show our families, our teachers, our students that this board cannot be swayed by partisan politics or authoritarian agenda. Show them we are not for sale. Our schools should be places of liberation through education, not a place of fear and exclusion. As Kwame Ture said, there is a higher law than the law of government. That's the law of conscience. I'm asking you tonight to listen to your conscience. Do what's right. Stand up for every child who walks through our school doors. Peace and blessings.
Adam here also. Catherine Gergen. Oh, Amanda Frost, I'm sorry.
Okay, there we go. I apologize to y'all. I forgot I signed up. It's been a month apparently. So in that, I didn't prepare a lot. I do want to kind of touch on a couple things. One of them is the earlier speaker about all students. I work in behavioral intervention is what I do. I can't say that I'm ABA, but I am similar to ABA in what I do, and I am similar to who you guys employ to go into the school for behavior intervention. I absolutely agree that those kids on IEPs and 504s should be disciplined. In fact, in my experience, what I'm finding is there are parents in our district that's actually asked for you guys to suspend or do something when our IEP 504 kids break rules. Some schools are doing that. I found out the hard way that Minglewood did that with my kid because I thought IEPs meant you couldn't suspend. That's a myth. Some of your schools are refusing. And in that data is not being collected. And when that data is not being collected and we aren't showing that we are having this need, paper document trail, we're not showing that those kids need those manifestations or behavior plans or any of that. And in that, if they don't need it, then our teachers are left to deal with it. The other side of that is we need more support for them. And I'm advocating for the teachers on this one. We need more support for them. The least restrictive environment is also what my program uses. I understand I only have about 10 kids max, and to just take 10 of those small kids and take to another classroom, that's a pain for me, and I work with littles. I can't imagine 20 to 30 kids. I know how least restrictive environment works, but it only works if we're given the proper support. It only works if that teacher has somebody to help them evacuate those kids or helps them to do the behavior management. And from my perspective, we do positive reinforcement only. How can you do a positive reinforcement if you got a whole class that way? Now, the other thing that I wanted to talk on was effective November. Those that are on SNAP or food stamps, WIC, free and reduced lunch, I'm seeing child care vouchers, Head Start. If the government is still shut down, all of those lose funding. I want to ask you guys, how many Title I schools do we have? Which means how many, with those Title I schools, how many are depending on that free and reduced lunch? Y'all told us for 2 months in a row how much extra money we've got. You guys said how much we had, and I'm not for or against the wrestling because I have my own kid that he's out there. I'm about to force him to go into it, actually. He's going to do middle school wrestling because of our own issues we have at home. But that's not the point. What the point is here, you told us how much extra money we have. Some of those kids that are on free and reduced lunch, that's their meals. Not all those families qualify for food stamps. Not all those families have WIC. Are we gonna, after talking about how we have that much extra money, are we gonna let those kids not have food? Are we really the ones that want to stand up and say, let's not feed the kids? I have asked a couple admin for some kids, some of the schools, and I asked them point blank. I said, hey, I'm going to talk to the county commissioners tonight because I forgot I signed up for you guys, and I was going to try to talk to each of you individually. I asked them, what can we tangibly do? How can I help you guys? How can I advocate for you guys? And what I was asked was to ask you guys to somehow bridge the free and reduced lunch until the government funds what it needs to fund. Because if not, we've got hungry kids, possibly starving kids in that school building. And I don't know about y'all, but I can't learn if I'm tired I'm hungry. How are we going to expect these little kids? We're talking about behaviors. How do we expect them to not have behaviors if they're hungry?
Catherine Garrigan.
Good evening. My name is Catherine Garrigan. I'm a native Tennessean, and I have lived in Clarksville for 10 years. I am a product of public schools and currently have 2 students in CMCSS. I'm here tonight to discuss the importance of education for all. The Equal Protection Clause in our Constitution even guarantees the right of a free public education to all children. Tennessee House Bill 793 wants to keep children of immigrants without legal status out of public school classrooms. This would also task our educators with becoming immigration officials. Currently, even immigrants with legal status are having it revoked without any reason or warning. It no longer matters that they are lawful permanent residents or visa holders. It no longer matters that they pay taxes, local, state, and federal, with government-issued tax ID numbers. Data shows that immigrants contributed $4.5 billion to our state in 2023, even though as non-citizens, they do not qualify to receive benefits like Social Security and Medicare. Immigrants enrich our communities, culturally and financially. We work together. We attend the same churches. Their children attend school with our children. Tonight, I am asking you to stand up not only for what is right, but stand up for what you each agreed to when you joined our school board. The CMCSS governance policy states, the board will seek to provide equal education opportunities for all children, regardless of ability, race, color, sex, creed, or location of residence. I ask you to reaffirm the promise that you made, that you will at all times think of children first. This bill punishes children for being born to immigrants. It is not only unconstitutional, it is exceptionally cruel. It does not matter where a child is born, it matters where they are. Every child living in this county deserves to be educated just as much as my own children. A child's education and future should not be taken away over a legal status beyond their control. I have a minute and a half left. I'm saying this after quoting from the Code of Ethics that you each agreed to, that you each signed when you joined. And I'm asking that you will at all times think of children in this county, no matter where they were born, as students who deserve an education. Thank you.
Rachel Bush.
Got a little visitor, sorry. Well, good evening. My name is Rachel Bush. I have 3 kids in the CMCSS system. One not yet made it in, but he will be. And 2 years ago, I stood before you asking for more elementary recess, and now we're back. And I want to begin tonight by saying thank you, because you guys all listened, and you increased recess from 20 minutes to 30 minutes for our elementary school kids. And that local decision really helped spark momentum across the state, and today every elementary student in Tennessee receives 40 minutes a day of recess. And that started right here with this board, and I saw the elementary level directors over there, and they definitely were a big part of that. So I want to say thank you to all of you for that. So as we worked for that progress in elementary school at the state level, we got a lot of questions, and one question kept coming up, and it was from lawmakers, from educators, and especially parents who are here tonight too. What about middle school students? So tonight I'm here to ask that question again on behalf of those families, and more importantly on behalf of our middle schoolers. This district has already taken an important step by limiting cell phones during the school day, helping reduce distractions and encourage healthier habits. Now we have the opportunity to take another step by giving middle school students unstructured break time during the day. In many ways, no age needs this more. Middle school is a time of major transition, physically, emotionally, socially. Students are adjusting to new expectations. Yet despite all that, they have less time than ever to move, decompress, and just be kids. They need a break. We have labor laws that protect adults from going all day without a break, yet we offer middle schoolers nothing more than 5-minute transitions between classes. And in some cases, not even that. We've been told that some students miss transitions altogether because they have the same teacher back to back. At least one middle school is reportedly requiring students to sit only on one side of the cafeteria table so they don't face each other. What message are we sending, and what outcomes are we expecting, and how do we get to a place where asking for a break for middle schoolers feels so radical? Meanwhile, 2 of our middle schools already do offer recess, one every day and one every other day. So I'm going to ask, if it works for 2 middle schools, why not the other 6? Yes, scheduling and space are challenges, but they're not impossible. What is impossible is expecting our kids to thrive without a break. If Kirkwood could make it happen with 1,300 students, hopefully the other schools could also make it work logistically. For years, we've heard we can't afford to lose in academic time, but the truth is recess doesn't take away from learning, it enhances it. Physical activity improves focus, behavior, and academic performance. So maybe what we're asking for a little bit here is a systematic shift, because decades ago, America's schools were like the gold standard, and our education system was built around movement and balance and physical activity, and we inspired countries like Finland. Finland adopted our model, and now they lead the world in education, and we've abandoned all the practices that once made us lead that way. Recess doesn't generate test data or funding, and so it's been left behind. As one educator put it, when we push down curriculum to the point that expectations are no longer developmentally appropriate, and we take play and hands-on encouragement out of learning, we see dysregulation in the form of executive dysfunction in our children. In other words, when we ignore what kids need, they struggle to do what we expect. Tonight, we're asking for a shift in priorities. A district that leads on this issue will not just boost performance, it will build healthier, happier, more capable kids. So please consider doing what is right, not what is easy. Master schedules are built in the spring. We ask that you plan now to include recess for all middle schoolers next year. And in the meantime, we urge the district to follow the current physical activity law, which Morgan will speak to in a minute. Thank you for your time and for your ongoing commitment to the well-being and success of every student in the district.
Next, Morgan Lee Gardner.
Good evening. It's nice to see some of you who I've met before. I'm Morgan Garner, and I spoke with Rachel here 2 years ago on elementary recess. I'm still a proud CMCSS parent, still advocating for our kids, and now I represent Say Yes to Recess, which we have turned into a nonprofit, and it's a parent-led nonprofit that we founded right here in Montgomery County. After many conversations with administrators, we found that CMCSS is not in compliance with the state law. It requires middle and high school students to receive 90 minutes of physical activity every week. We have found only 2 schools that provide, middle schools specifically, that provide weekly physical activity, which Rachel just mentioned, which is Kirkwood and Montgomery Central. Yet 100% of our middle schools report compliance with this law. Sorry, I've lost my place. Kirkwood provides a daily recess, and Montgomery Central does it every few days. They may not call it recess, but that's exactly what it is. An unstructured movement break that allows the brain to do just what it needs to do in order to learn, grow, and flourish. In our research, many middle schools do not offer PE every quarter, which is disturbing if they're not offering any physical activity break. So that means that with no recess, there are students with no structured or unstructured physical activity breaks throughout the day. We asked administrators who monitors this compliance, and meeting after meeting, we've received really no clear answer. When we asked what activities are counted toward those 90 minutes, the responses were vague, and things like brain breaks, walking between classes, or occasional classes taught outside were the best I could gather. Unfortunately, those don't meet the state law requirements. We have had an administrator acknowledge that schools like Kirkwood do offer the structured recess, as we said, and others apparently rely on less formal approaches, citing academic demands as a barrier, which we are not new to that argument. We fully support strong academics. So the good news is that recess supports academic success, as well as social, emotional learning, and developing those soft skills that this iPhone generation so desperately needs. These skills are especially critical during the middle school years, in my opinion. This is not only best practice, but it is also a legal compliance issue. We've been told that the state mandates limit the district's flexibility to incorporate recess in school, but after 3 years of advocacy, almost 4 actually, at the district and state level, and speaking directly with the State Board of Education and the Tennessee Department of Education, we've confirmed that only 2 things are mandated by the state, and that is RTI and the 90-minute physical activity law. The current system in place relies on self-reporting, yet there's no verification that students are receiving the physical activity they're legally entitled to. This year, our advocacy group, Say Yes to Recess, successfully helped strengthen the elementary recess law at the state level, and next year, our focus is on middle school. We've found that schools often prioritize test scores over physical and mental health of the students, and prioritizing academics at the expense of physical activity undermines both the student health and academic outcomes. Our goal is to reframe how schools view physical activity in recess. 11 to 14-year-olds are still children. Their needs don't suddenly change when they enter middle school. In fact, I think they need movement and unstructured time more than ever. If CMCSS adds a daily recess, we can still meet the law and not touch specials. This will allow kids to get a break while still protecting their precious art and music time, which we also value so deeply. So tonight, I would like for you to take 2 actions. Ensure every CMCS middle school is fully in compliance with the law, and introduce structured recess for middle school. We've led the way once. We can do it again. Thank you so much.
Catherine Thurman, or Truman.
Hello, my name is Catherine Truman, and I'm a proud mom of 4 active boys, 3 of whom currently attend school in this district. I'm deeply grateful for the education they're receiving through CMCSS schools. That said, with any larger system, there's always room for thoughtful, evidence-based improvement. One area that deserves our attention is physical activity, particularly starting in middle school. As we all know, a lack of movement can have serious long-term consequences. For adolescents, specifically, it's linked to weight gain, increased risk of chronic conditions, cardiovascular conditions, weakened bone health, reduced muscle strength and endurance. It can impair coordination, circulation, and mental well-being, contributing to anxiety, depression, and ultimately diminished academic focus. One simple proven solution, recess. Unstructured time during the school day allowed students to engage in the kind of movement that they both choose and need. There's no credible research suggesting that daily physical activity should stop or even decline at the age of 11. Organizations like the Global Recess Alliance go so far as to argue that recess is so essential it should be counted as instructional time. When students move, they return to the classroom more engaged, more focused, and better prepared to learn. We can't treat recess as a luxury. We need to recognize it for what it truly is, a research-backed strategy to optimize outcomes. There has been a significant increase in anxiety and depression from 1950 to present day in teens and young adults, documented in several studies. One by Dr. Peter Gray showed that 5 to 8 times as many children and college students reported clinically significant depression or anxiety than 50 years ago, and another documented a similar trend in 14 to 16-year-old age group. Suicide rates quadrupled from 1950 to 2005 for children less than 15 years, and for teens and young adults ages 15 to 25, they doubled. Dr. Gray believes that the loss of unstructured free play for play's sake is at the core of this alarming observation, and that as a society, we should reassess the role of free play and the factors that seem to have all but eliminated it from our children's lives. We are asking to reassess what we prioritize as parents and educators. A whole child approach is possible if we all work together. This leads me to our national movement. Say Yes to Recess has launched chapters in 15 states because the conversation around the school day, schedules, and student wellness is accelerating across the country. We are proud to represent a district and a state that has approached this campaign collaboratively and with solution-focused mindset. We look forward to continuing our work with you and with leaders throughout the district to lead the way in creating positive, research-based change in the daily lives of both students and teachers. Thank you for listening.
I'll let you say your name.
Hello, everybody. I am Jeanette Sangari-Makilis, a seasoned educator of 22 years from elementary to college and a product of a public education from elementary to graduate in our nation. I teach students and colleagues, create courses, and present by request at conferences. And I am also a proud Indigenous who is astonished at how this nation of illegal immigrants from its origin is going about destroying itself from within. My interest is for my beautiful grandbabies to obtain a public education, and this includes every single child in this nation. The petition HB 0793, the right to an education for all, there are 5 conflicting factors and truths. The federal Constitution of the United States in the 14th Amendment states, through incorporation to protect the right to a public education. The Tennessee Constitution, Article 11, states the inherent value of education and encourages its support. It states nothing of immigration status. The Tennessee Department of Education has a printed statement of, quote, all children from the ages of 6 to 17 are required to attend and earn a public school education. The Clarksville-Montgomery County School System its own vision clearly states, quote, our mission is to educate and empower our students to reach their potential. It also has its own mission, which also clearly states, our vision is all students will graduate college and be career ready. This board has religious members. Let's recall some passages from the Old Testament that emphasizes the importance of treating foreigners justly and with kindness. Exodus passage 22, verse 21. I'm not going to say it, just the ones who know will know. Leviticus passage 19, verses 33 and 34. Deuteronomy passage 10, verse 18 and 19. Exilic passage 47, verse 22. Let's head to the New Testament, which expands this theme of care for outsiders. Matthew passage 25, verses 35 and 40. I hope Mr. McBarry is writing this down. Hebrew passage 13, verse 12. Ephesians passage 2, verse 19. Romans passage 13, verse 1. Although the Bible doesn't directly address modern illegal immigration, it emphasizes on compassion, justice for vulnerable foreigners that offer guidance for contemporary issues related to immigration. Upholding compassion. Others maintain that biblical compassion should override any unjust or discriminatory laws, and that God's law for justice and mercy is a higher authority than civil law. The sanctuary city movement is one example where some Christians and churches use biblical principles to justify resisting federal immigration enforcement. Sadly, I believe it's most probable that this school board will bend the knee to this racist decision against children ages 6 to 17 attending an education and earning a public school education. I, along with other active constituents, expect a written explanation with signatures as to why this board might go that route. And I hope to God, which we all share on that, that does not come to be. Thank you.
All right, at this time, we want to recognize our new student board member, Elijah Fuller. If you'll tell us a little bit tell the crowd and everybody a little bit about yourself.
Good evening. I would just like to say that it's great to meet everyone, as I've met a lot of you already. As you all already know, I'm Elijah Fuller. I'm a senior at Kirkwood High School. I am extremely excited to get this opportunity. I think it's a great opportunity for not only me, but the students that will come after me. I think that I've always been someone to look out for my fellow students, whether that be going out and helping them find their class, or other routes of helping them. I think that this new position is a great way to get them heard. I've been blessed the past couple of years to take leadership roles both in school and church. And then I hope that I can just learn a lot from all of you, and I thank you for this opportunity, and I look forward to see where it goes in the future.
Thank you. All right. Oh, Carol, push your button. Let you second it. Okay. We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Discussion's closed. Please open your vote. Are all members satisfied with their vote? Please close the vote. Motion carries. All right, policy monitoring. Dr. Linnevetter.
Board, please find in your board packet information on Executive Limitation 4, Financial Planning and Budgeting. This executive limitation has one compliance expectation that our staff follow to ensure CMCSS financial planning is in keeping with district expectations. Specifically, the annual financial planning process is driven by budget priorities. Financial priorities are aligned with the board's ends policies and the district's strategic plan without risk of fiscal jeopardy. Estimates of revenues and expenditures used in developing the budget are based on historical trends and the best and most current data available using a conservative approach. Additionally, key performance indicators are identified and monitored to ensure desired outcomes and to make course corrections if necessary for continuous improvement. Chairman Lanier, this concludes Executive Limitation 4.
Okay. Executive Limitation 10.
Board, please find in your board packet information on Executive Limitation 10. This executive limitation has 6 compliance expectations to ensure the Director of Schools provides a safe learning environment conducive to effective learning. The Student Code of Conduct is revisited annually with representative focus groups for feedback. Comments and opinions from these groups are organized and provided to senior instructional team for review with principals and assistant principals. Changes are forwarded to General Counsel for review and recommendation, and also for integration with change at the legislative level. The board has the final approval of the Student Code of Conduct. School administrators are provided with guidelines on parameters within which they must administer discipline. These guidelines are communicated and reviewed annually, and upon incident should a concern arise. CMCSS has developed and still maintains a district disaster recovery plan, online individual school crisis plans, district emergency communication procedures, classroom and office response guides, and transportation emergency procedure guides. The SROs and Safe Schools grants are still used to assist with student safety. In addition, schools are required to complete 4 lockdown active shooter drills each year. During the 24-25 school year, CMCSS implemented a threat assessment portal to track any threat assessments. The latest security measure implemented in 2025 was the use of the Centegix Crisis Alert badges that has been given to all employees. The district also holds quarterly security stakeholder meetings, and a security and safety engagement guide was created for quick view of all safety and security resources. Principals control daily school schedules. CMCSS administrative policy dictates compliance in all federal, state, and local laws. Finally, to protect confidentiality, student and employee records are maintained through third-party software available on CMCSS internal network through a password-protected software systems. When necessary to transmit sensitive data outside the district, data is either password-protected or sent via secure transfer protocol. Likewise, district passwords are not sent through email per district policy. Chairman Lanier, this concludes Executive Limitation 10.
All right, this time we've got, turn over to Mark Nolan to talk about a student appeal.
Board, on your agenda tonight is a student appeal. You were provided with the information regarding the student appeal in your packet of information, and you should have had an opportunity to review that. So I will remind the board that all student appeals, should you wish to discuss this particular case, do not identify the student by name or school. Also pursuant to the student disciplinary policy, I'll remind the board, you can take no action. If you take no action and make no motions, that's an affirmation of the director's decision regarding the appeal of the student, the discipline of the student. Should you wish to modify the decision of the director, then a motion, a second, would have to be made. So with that guideline within the policy, is there any motions to be made regarding this student appeal? Okay. Since there are no motions, that's an affirmation of the director's decision. Thank you.
All right, we need to go back to policy monitoring. Executive limitation 4, we need a motion and a second to vote. Aaron motions and Mr. Garland seconded. Any discussion? Please open the vote. Is everybody comfortable with your vote? Please close the vote. Motion passes. Again, same on executive limitation number 10. Motion by Mr. Mabry. Second by Ms. Bryant. So motion and a second. Any discussion? Please open the vote. Everybody satisfied with your vote? Please close the vote. Motion carries. Okay. All right. Pass this on to you too. All right. Back to Mr. Nolan. No, not to you for this one. Okay. All right, this time I'll call on Ms. Berry for item 2, the resolution opposing.
Thank you, Chairman Lanier. This resolution has come before us opposing House Bill 0793 due to the fact that it's the affirming of all rights the right of all children to get a free and equitable public education. And I would ask the support of this board because it is the right thing to do for our children. I won't prolong the time.
Any more discussion? No. Yeah, you have to have a motion in a second. Okay.
Resolution opposing House Bill 0793.
All right, motion, second by Mr. Garland. Any discussion? Mr. Mabry?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. There was some discussion inside the public comment that was accurate. The focus of this bill is actually to challenge Powder versus Doe, which was a Supreme Court ruling in 1982. Ultimately, though, it's there to actually help fix the immigration system. That's the goal of the bill sponsor, which is William Lamberth, who is the majority leader in the Republican caucus. Ultimately, students that have illegal immigrant status cannot receive federal or state funds for college unless they have a status that is legal. And our immigration system is broken. His goal is, from here from Tennessee, is to challenge that, to help break it so that ultimately Congress will fix it. That's his goal. That's what he has been trying to do, and he's been very upfront about that. Another public comment tonight talked about partisan politics. I agree with that. This board has no need to focus on partisan politics. This board's focus should be on our school district and not on a House bill that isn't even moving through the State House right now. And it may not ever. It was put off notice. Board, let's stay focused on Clarksville-Montgomery County and our schools and our students. This is a state issue. So respectfully to the sponsor of the resolution, I'm going to move to postpone this motion indefinitely.
All right, this time, calling Mr. Garland.
I have a motion. I have a motion.
Oh, we have a motion, sorry. Oh, motion and a second. Second by Ms. Bryant. Do we ask for other discussion then? Okay, other discussion? On that motion.
Right.
On the motion to table. Any other discussion? Mr. Garland?
I really think that that motion is out of place. This is something, when we are talking about the education of our children, and every child in Montgomery County is a child of CMCSS, a child of Montgomery County, a child of the state of Tennessee. Doesn't matter, as it was said in the presentation, where they were born, who they were born to. If they can stop an immigrant from getting a free public education, they can stop me. They can stop my grandchildren. Because I asked the question, who's next? I think that this is something we should address. We should address it now. And we should address it in the affirmative that we do oppose such a draconian suggestion that a child living in Tennessee cannot get an education simply because of who they were born to. But that parent still pays taxes and get no benefit from those taxes. That's okay. It's okay for them to take the taxes, but it's not okay for the the resident or this district to educate that child. I think that we need to ignore that motion and need to go forth with what we came here to do.
Ms. Berry?
I already stated that I support that every child in Clarksville-Montgomery County will receive a free public education. Doesn't matter who the parents are. It doesn't matter where they came from. It's a human right. I'm a person for justice and for what's right, what lines up with how we should treat one another. Or I'll say it, what lines up with the Word of God. How could you? What if you were on the other end of the situation? You were that immigrant child. You weren't allowed to get a public education. Put yourself in that child's shoe. Put yourself in that immigrant's shoe. It's just because of mercy and grace that we are Americans and we don't have to fight for our rights to be a citizen. But what if you were that little child from Romania, Mexico, wherever? What if you were that child? Would you want an education? Just because your parent didn't birth you in this country. In my farthest dream, I just can't imagine why a school board member will be against children getting a public education. It just bewilders me. Yes, I said it. This board ought to be compassionate. This board ought to care about children. This board ought to care about children being educated. This is not right, and I'm going to speak against it.
All right, there's a motion and a second on the floor for tabling. Any other discussion? Please open your vote or the vote. Make sure y'all understand we're making a motion, or the motion has been made for the vote to table indefinitely. Correct? Yes. Okay. Okay. All right.
Just for clarity for the board.
Okay.
If you vote for the tabling, thank you. If we vote for the tabling, what we're saying is we're going to table it and it's not going to go forward. That just for point of clarity for the board.
Yes. Yes. Okay. Okay. Everybody understand? Everybody satisfied with your vote? Please close the vote. Okay, motion carries. Motion doesn't carry. It has to be a 60. Because you have a split on the nose and those things. Okay. Motion doesn't carry. Okay. Okay, now we're back to the original motion. Does the board support the original motion of the resolution? Yeah. Well, I mean, somebody's going to make a motion if they do, and then we discuss. Well, I guess the motion's already been made. Motion's already been made.
Continue to discuss it.
Now we continue to discuss. Good first day. Ms. Bryant?
I just want to, we have a lot of people in this room, and there's going to be a lot of people online that are not familiar with this process and what we're actually voting on. So I just want to take a second to explain it a little bit. We're not actually voting on a bill that is going to to pass at a state law. Like, that's not what we're doing right here. What we're doing right now is voting to either say as a board that we are going to support that bill or not support that bill going through, that a bill that might not even be coming up. So I just wanted to make that clear because I know a lot of things are said in the background that aren't true, so hopefully that brings some clarification. The other point I want to make is we had a lot of parents come up and speak tonight, and I know one of the comments was about how we had a whole lot of discussion about wrestling, and that was a priority apparently over this. And I just want to clarify that we actually have decision-making power over whether wrestling budget passed or not, and that is why there was so much discussion about the budget for wrestling. So again, I just want to clarify, we're not voting tonight to pass the bill. We're just voting, and just as I did with the when we were talking about charter schools, I made a stand that we should remain neutral. And so that's what I am standing for today, is that I think that we need to remain neutral, and I think that we need to spend more time talking about things that we actually have control over and the power to change, because there's a lot of those things. So thank you.
Mr. Mabry?
Since we're going to go forward and have a vote here, I just want to say very bluntly and clearly that this is definitely a partisan push to this board without all the facts, without all the understanding of this legislation. And there is...
I'll remind the crowd that you're in the observation area, so please let them speak.
So we have not spent time discussing this, debating it. We have not had the witnesses that you would have in the State House, because we're not the State House here on this board. That's the state's job to do. Our job is to serve this community and not getting involved with the State House. And I've maintained that through my time here, that on this board, that I have not pushed things towards the state. We implement what the state tells us. That's what this board does. This is what every school board does. So I would love for us to focus in on Clarksville-Montgomery County schools. And with students, I'm very concerned that we have students in even our school district right now that when they graduate high school, they cannot have the American dream. Because unless they have the money to pay full tuition in college, they cannot get federal funding or state funding. And that's why we need something like this bill, because Congress will continue to kick it down the road forever unless something changes. That is what the bill sponsor is trying to do. But ultimately, it does not matter to this board. We can do nothing. This resolution would do nothing. It would just go up there. It would sit there. What we need to do is focus here on Clarksville-Montgomery County, and that's what I'm going to do today. Thank you.
Mr. Garland?
You know, it bothers me to hear people say that some things are not important to this district. Anything that deals with the education of these children is important to every person sitting up here on this roster. It's supposed to be important to what's going on in the state, at the federal level, and at the local level. To hear that we need to be neutral. Neutral, what is neutral? Neutral is, I'm not going to do nothing. The bottom line is, I'm not going to say nothing. For 250 years, my people had to do that. But today, I don't have to be neutral. I can speak my mind. And I wasn't here for the vote when they canceled the resolution for public charter schools. I am here today. And I strongly believe that we need to pass this, send it up to Nashville, and let every school board of the 95 counties of the state of Tennessee know that Montgomery County is for the education of all children. And as long as I sit on this board, that's what I'm going to be for. The rest of you, vote your conscience. Vote your conscience. I'm going to vote my conscience because I truly believe that every child, all 39,000 of these children that come to Montgomery County school system, a parent should not be afraid to send our kids to our district, not knowing whether or not they're going to be safe in the side of our buildings. Our board, our state, our county, our leadership, we should be focused on education, not legislation. I agree with that. But this is a bill, maybe we can't pass it, but we can let the people know that's going to actually bring it and going to push it that we don't agree.
Point of order.
Didn't you already speak on it once before?
Yeah. Point of order.
I spoke that I supported it, but I didn't discuss it. What I did show.
All right, what's your point of order?
Mr. Chairman, I just wanted to say out loud, there's been multiple violations of the observation gallery today, making noise. They are there to observe, not to participate. This board, we were elected to participate, and I would love it if we could ask the observation gallery to do just that. Thank you.
Correct. Just like we've said before, the observation gallery is the observation gallery. Please keep your comments to yourself and let us discuss. Ms. Berry?
Yes, I just wanted to say that it's good. College is wonderful. But we're talking about children, kindergarten through 12th grade. We first have to get them through school before we even contemplate or look forward to college. We're saying they deserve, the children, our children of Clarksville-Montgomery County, deserves a free, equitable public education. That's every child. No child left behind, and no favors to any child. I believe that when we do the right thing, the children will be the ones that benefit, but they also have hearts. They remember how they were treated, and they remember if they weren't treated fair. And of course, I was one of those children, and it's not a racial comment, but I was one of those children when I started school that was not treated fair. And I don't have to go into segregation, but it's the bad feeling to not be treated right, not be treated the way that you should be treated. That's why I make it an effort. I make it an effort to treat every human being the way I want to be treated. I love everyone. There's not a person in this room that I don't love. I don't care how ugly you treat me, I'm going to love you anyway. The thing is, we have to show the children that we care when they're little. So when they're older, you might be the one in the hospital that they have to take care of. They remember. I'm just saying, I'm going to do the right thing. And if you don't, that's on you. But as a human being, as a human, some people have lost their conscience. Some people have lost their hearts. Because when you are heart, you're going to do what's, especially on this board, you're going to do what's right for children, no matter what. Thank you.
Mr. Garland?
Yeah, I'd just like to remind you that this is not Nashville. This is Clarksville-Montgomery County. And I don't think that we need to actually remind the gallery that they are members of the gallery. I think they're smart enough to know that. We want to stifle some people's speech, but we want to be able to say what we want to say. I say that these people that are here today, they are here for a reason. They want to know what it is that the board is going to do concerning this issue. And I want to know too. That's why I want to move for the vote.
Okay, Mr. Mayberry?
Since you just responded to my comment respectfully, this is the order of this board. This is the order that we have written, that we all agreed to when we signed up in our board governance. Let's be respectful to our process and not circumvent that just because you have a bias towards the audience today. Let's have a debate amongst this board, and let's let the observation gallery do that, which is observe, which is their right to come here and observe. And if they would like to participate, they can run for one of these positions and get elected by the people of Montgomery County, and then they can participate.
Okay, any further discussion? Motion on the floor for the resolution opposing the House Bill 0793, Senate Bill 0836. Please open your vote, or the vote. Is everyone satisfied with your vote? Please close the vote. Motion does not carry. Right?
Shame on this school board for not supporting children.
Just like we said before, if y'all can't remain.
Why do you hate children? And Casey and Chris, why do y'all hate children?
Okay, moving forward. Please remove them from the room. Okay. Fort Campbell School Liaison Officer. Is she here? Okay. CMCEA Pet Representatives.
Still working? Okay.
There you go.
All right. I'm going to be talking about something different tonight that is at the state level. It's not a bill yet, but it's definitely concerns teachers in our district, and I really hope that it is not partisan or becomes partisan. But I am pleased tonight to hear members of the board talk about nonpartisanship, because it is very disheartening to see members publicly state that they want to keep their seat in the hands of a certain party come election time. So I'm very happy to hear that. But tonight, I really want to talk about what we call the Freedom to Teach Committee. That is at the state level, and it is examining issues that will shape our schools for years to come. Their work is not just about one bill. It is about the kind of classrooms that we want for our children and the kind of future we want for our community. It is at its heart, I can't talk tonight. At its heart, freedom to teach means giving educators the trust and flexibility to do what we entered this profession to do, teach. Right now, too much time is lost to high-stakes test preparation that does little to help our students succeed. We know our students deserve more than weeks of bubbling in answers that provide feedback long after they've moved on. They deserve instruction tailored to their needs, their interests, their goals for life beyond graduation. This conversation is also about respect. Respect for the expertise of teachers who know their students best. It is about resources, ensuring schools have the tools and support staff to make teaching and learning thrive. And it's about retention, keeping great educators in our classrooms rather than watching them leave because the system makes it harder every year to stay. When I talk to colleagues, one thing comes up again and again. We want to make our district the best place in which to live, teach, and learn. That vision is only possible if decisions made in Nashville and here at home are grounded in the voices of those who teach every day. So tonight I'm asking you, as our locally elected leaders, to take action. Join us in advocating for legislation that reduces unnecessary testing, strengthens respect for educators, and provides the resources our schools need. Let's commit to policies that lift up rather than limit the work of our teachers. Thank you.
PET.
Good evening, board members. 2 years ago, I asked you to sit at the Warriors table, if you remember that, and have conversations because theirs are different with the teachers. And last spring before TCAP, I reminded you of perception, locker room numbers, and IQ scores. Well, today, this thought has been going around in my head for the past couple of weeks. I heard someone make a comment of, be a leader people want to follow. And I know we have many leaders here tonight in various aspects, but today I asked my students what they thought made a great leader. It'd be interesting to note what they said. They were very excited because I said, now I'm going to the school board tonight and I'm going to share your thoughts with them. And so they were very excited that I'm going to share some of their thoughts with you. So one of them said, being a leader is someone who listens and takes stuff seriously. So I think we've definitely taken stuff seriously tonight. And also, a leader means no making fun of people because you don't know what they're going through. Also, a good leader is someone who makes good decisions, whether it's the right thing to do and not the wrong thing to do. And also, they said a good leader is someone who gets an example of being a model for other people. A good leader would get good grades and help out kids. But the one that really stuck out to me was one from one of my fourth graders. And he said, being a leader, people should be helping people. They should be very persuasive in their speech. They should be fearless. They should be brave. They should be protective of people. They should always show kindness, patience. And they ended, I didn't see this until just now, and they mentioned their dad as exemplifying those characteristics of someone who's a great leader. So I challenge you tonight is we need to be a Washington, we need to be a Lincoln, we need to be a Martin, we need to be a Carver, or we could be a Wilma, or, the historical list is very long as to who our great leaders are. But just remember, students are always watching us. They're looking for leaders they want to follow. And so tonight, we need to be good educators, leaders that we want to follow, school board members, administrators, coaches, mentors that students look up to. And last but not least, we need to be an Elijah, because I told them about the student who is going to be an honorary school board member today. So they were very excited about that. So just always think about what makes a good leader. Reflect upon that this year. Thank you.
County Commissioners' comments? You don't have any? All righty. Elijah, you got any comments?
I would just once again like to say thank you for everyone for this opportunity. And like I stated earlier, I'm excited to see where this goes. Thank you all.
Thank you for being here. Board members' comments. Mr. Mabry.
And first, I just want to, again, from me to you, Elijah, it's so great to have you here, man. I'm proud for you to step up and paving a way for something for the future. Mr. Nelson, who is here, got honored today. I just think the world of you, sir. But he's the one who brought forth the policy change to allow you to be here. So thank you, Mr. Nelson, for doing that. And I'd encourage you to thank him afterwards, because it was him who did that. It was a great policy. It was great to support that as well. I would like the district to do a presentation to us about our middle school, the 90 minutes that the speakers today spoke about, of physical activity a week. And one of the questions I would like to look at is, what would it look like to have some type of recess break, if that's possible? I would just like to have that conversation if we could. This last comment is going to be a little forward. Our teachers associations, if you're going to use your platforms to lob insults at board members, you don't necessarily have the right just to always speak here. We can vote to not have you here. And this is an ongoing thing now. And that was very forward. So if the relationship for the teacher association should be to advocate for teachers, and you would think you would want a good relationship with the board and try to be nonpartisan yourself. I would love that. I've spoken at the teacher associations. I've been there. When I was asked, I came. I did it. So I want to encourage, let's have a good relationship. If you're going to continue to lob insults, I will make a motion to not have you speak anymore. But when I came on this board, you didn't have that right. I voted to restore that right for you. But this is not the role of our teacher association. So let's please be respectful of one another. Thank you.
Ms. Bryant.
First, I want to welcome Elijah. Welcome. See what you have to look forward to. This was probably one of the most lively ones we've had in a while. So, and I also want to say congratulations. It was very nice to honor you, Mr. Nelson. And then finally, I wanted to say I love seeing the room full, even though we're not all going to agree on things. I think that it's really important that our community stay engaged and show up. And so I just want to acknowledge that. And also mention that, you know, we're all here because we love kids. And I don't appreciate saying that, fellow board members, you know, saying that we don't love kids. We're here because we love kids. I have kids. My kids have friends. So we just love them. We think differently on how to love them. So just wanted to mention that. Thank you.
Ms. Berry.
I said many things, but I didn't say board members didn't love kids. I do want to say, on behalf of the associations, most of those people were not association members. They're citizens of this community. And I see Shelley and Cappy out there, people I taught with years ago, still supporting public education. I appreciate you all being here. I will always do what's right for children. And I always say this, if my constituents don't want me to do what's right for children, please vote me out. Because as long as I'm on this board, I'm going to do what's best for children and for this community. Welcome, Elijah, one of my Kirkwood, what could I say? Cobras. We're so pleased to have you on the board. Mr. Nelson, you know I could go on and on and on. Thank you for your prayers. Thank you for your support. I mentored him, guys, and he was a great board member. I learned a lot from him, as well as we were able to share and help one another as board members. And I thank all of our senior leadership and all the teachers of this community and all the wonderful things that you do for children. And don't stop, whether I'm on this board or not. Keep doing what's best for children, because I'm going to do what my heart tells me to do, not just for children, but for every individual that I come in contact with. Whether they speak English, Deutsch, French, it doesn't matter. They're human and they're part of this human race. And I encourage people to run for school board, please, especially if you have a heart for children. Please run for school board and you have a heart for what's best for Clarksville-Montgomery County schools. And I do get a little emotional when it comes to my babies, that's what I like to call them, when it comes to what's best for children. If you really want to see me at my worst, mess with children. Thank you.
Mr. Garland?
I just like to say thank you for all of you that came and all of you that stayed. This is your board. This is who you put up here. This is who you got leading this district. It's your choice who stays, your choice who leaves. But one of the things I do strongly believe is that anyone sitting up here that focuses not on every child, it's not focused. All the time I sit here, I've always been focused on the education and the needs of the students and the needs of the teachers and the staff. That's been my focus. It's not about party. It's not about ideology. It's about the facts. The facts of a school board. We're supposed to be legislating for the students. And we shouldn't be trying to sway the audience one way or the other. I'm not here to try to pull you in or push you away. But I do encourage you to continue to do what you're doing. And welcome, Elijah. Yes, I'm the big mouth. And I will always be the one that's going to speak up when I see something that's not doing in accordance with what I think. And this is me. This is my thinking, okay? They got their opinion. I have mine. And one of the things that I will continue to do is speak my mind when it comes to the education of every child in Montgomery County, according to the Constitution of the United States of America, the one that I served 29 years to protect all of us to do what we did here tonight, is to turn our backs on the children. Thank you.
Anyone else? All right, Director of Schools report, Dr. Linda Vetter.
Good evening, board members. This was the first week back from fall break for faculty, staff, and students. We're optimistic the break allowed time for much needed rest and rejuvenation. It is an exciting week in athletics for CMCSS. For the first time in history, we have a girls volleyball team competing at the state tournament. And additionally, we have a middle school football championship that will be held tomorrow evening. As we look to open Freedom Elementary in fall 2026, an independent consulting firm will be assisting with options for elementary rezoning for next school year. In the coming months, we will be providing community and family more details to come. Finally, tonight we did honor Mr. Nelson for his years of service to District 3. As a reminder, applications are still open for this open school board seat through October 29th. Mr. Nelson, you're still welcome to apply. County commissioners will hear from applicants on November 3rd and vote on November 10th. We're looking forward to a new member, but just know, whoever you are, you will have very big shoes to fill. Mr. Chairman, this concludes my report.
Okay. This time we're adjourned.